CTV News with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Another price hike is hitting the pumps just 1 week after a 10-cent per liter gas tax kicked in. Sean Irvin spoke with Londoners who say they are frustrated by rising costs.
The fluctuating price at the pump has not gone unnoticed by London motorist Alfonso Goldburn.
The up and down, it don't consistent, so I just go with the flow.
But with a pickup truck to fill, his flow does not include any gas pumps in London. Alfonso instead visits gas stations located on nearby First Nations.
I get a little cheaper gas. For buying the city, it's really pricey, so I ignore the city.
But for drivers who need to keep filling their tanks to put food on their table, a drive out of town to find affordable gas isn't always an option. This online food delivery driver is paying a lot more to fill the tank of his small car.
$85.
And how much was it 6 months ago? Probably $60, right?
Yeah, it's $60.
Now, many delivery companies are offering relief options to their drivers, DoorDash among them. Its program offers drivers the equivalent of about 36 cents a liter in fuel savings. However, that program ends this weekend. In an announcement on its website, DoorDash tells Canadian drivers that it will continue to closely monitor the impact of gas prices. Still, the hikes remain a worry.
It's a little bit hurts me, and it's very expensive for me.
And with multiple gas price prediction apps forecasting another 3 to 4 cents a liter price hike on Saturday in London, it seems oil relief is far off.
It will take a lot longer, perhaps well through summer, before we start to see major relief in oil getting back to the prices that they were just before the invasion, so about $65 to $68 a barrel.
Which leaves Alfonso wondering if the 10-cent a liter tax cut announced by the Prime Minister is actually making a difference.
I thought when he reduced it, it was something going to be stay where it is. And all of a sudden he went back up, so I don't see the point of it.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Another union representing first responders in our region has reached an impasse at the bargaining table. Paramedics who serve London and Middlesex County have been working without a contract for 16 months and could go to binding arbitration this summer. CTV's Daryl Newcomb has the details.
The life-saving skills of paramedics are priceless when emergencies happen, but it's proven much harder to find agreement on what's a fair salary in a new contract.
We're at loggerheads on these things, and the die is cast.
The president of OPSU Local 147 says they've been working without a contract since the end of 2024, and binding arbitration could begin this summer. Andrew Swan says one of the primary stumbling blocks is bringing a paramedic's pay in line with other first responders.
Ballpark, paramedics, when they're bringing in $90,000 to $95,000 a year, a firefighter or police constable is bringing in between 110 and 120.
In addition, part-time paramedics are currently required to work at least one shift per week. The union isn't willing to increase that minimum if it means some experienced members are forced out of work because there are periods of time each year when they can't work more than that.
Not making the work conditions untenable for certain valuable, experienced, more senior part-time staff, and making sure that they're able to remain in the workplace.
According to Swan, twice in 2025, tentative deals were brought before his membership, but on both occasions, they failed to get enough votes to be ratified. The Middlesex London Paramedic Service tells CTV News in a statement, quote, "As negotiations are ongoing, it would not be appropriate to comment at this time. We remain focused on working collaboratively to reach an agreement." Swan acknowledges there's been a lot of agreement about improving language in the contract, but unless the Middlesex London Paramedic Service move from their current position, arbitration might be unavoidable.
It's not great to wait, and it's not great to have those expenses. You also, once an arbitrator makes a decision, you're bound to it, so you can get that kind of split the child down the middle decision where nobody walks away happy.
As an essential service, paramedics are forbidden from going on strike, and both sides have committed to maintain reliable, high-quality care in spite of the contract dispute. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Police have charged a young person after an alleged hate-motivated attack on an elderly person in Woodstock. It happened late Wednesday morning near Turtle Island School. Video of the incident shows a boy shoving a sick man and yelling racist comments. The man was not injured. Police say after the altercation, the suspect jumped a fence onto school property and was later arrested. The boy is charged with assault, uttering threats, and criminal harassment. It's been 2 weeks since the shooting death of a 20-year-old man outside a Lambton College pub in Sarnia, with the prime suspect still on the run. As Brian Bicknell reports, if he doesn't surrender peacefully, it could end badly for him.
With a Canada-wide warrant out for his arrest, CTV News public safety analyst Chris Lewis says he believes it's just a matter of time before police catch up with accused killer Kiao Chin Do. That is, if he doesn't turn himself in before. If he resists, it could spell his demise.
At this point, police are looking for an alleged killer. And when the time comes that some law enforcement officer stops him somewhere, finds him just by happenstance, or a tactical team goes in on him because they know where he is, either way, his options are put up your hands, cooperate, get down to the floor when they tell him to, or be prepared to be killed.
The latest photos released of 24-year-old Doe highlight visible tattoos, a tiger wearing a crown, a dagger through the heart under the eye, a broken heart with angel wings on fire, and a small cross under the eye.
He'll be fairly easy to identify, I believe.
Doe is charged with second-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and a firearms offense after a shooting outside the Lion's Den pub on the Lambton College campus April 10th. 20-year-old Dane Nisbet of Sarnia died in hospital, while 2 of his friends suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Also charged with second-degree murder is 23-year-old Odom Richard Bunn of London, who remains in custody, while 2 Sarnia residents are charged with various offenses, including accessory after the fact. Doe's last known address is Booley Street in London, and Sarnia police have already been here canvassing the area a number of times, searching for clues to help locate him. Legal experts say anyone found to be harboring the suspect could themselves face serious consequences.
Somebody could be facing a significant time in prison for just assisting.
Legal analyst, criminal lawyer Jim Dean says if he were Doe's counsel, his advice would be turn yourself in.
Someone who has a defense, has more to the story, would turn themselves in, would then go through the process. It'll certainly impact him on bail, because the Crown, I expect, would put forth a position that he is a flight risk.
Call a lawyer. You can tell your side of the story at that time. In the meantime, the police have a warrant for your arrest. So the best thing to do, turn yourself in, put your hands up and let it happen.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
The daughter of a residential school survivor who cheated her mother out of a $150,000 government settlement check was sentenced today in a London courtroom. With more on the court's decision, here's CTV's Nick Paparella.
While handing down his sentencing decision, Justice Kevin McHugh took his time, describing how 56-year-old Ursula Dockstader ripped off her own elderly mother to the tune of $150,000. The judge said this was an egregious breach of trust, and the fraud was significant. Dockstader was the power of attorney for her mother, Caroline, who lives in the States. In September of 2023, Dockstader got a hold of her mother's residential school settlement check. It was issued after a class action lawsuit was settled with the Canadian government. Dockstader lied about the total amount to her mother and then put the check in her own bank account. In a matter of weeks, the money was almost all gone. 11 months ago, Dockstader, a former Oneida Nation of the Thames Band councillor, was found guilty of 1 count of fraud over $5,000 and 1 count of uttering forged documents. When speaking about the victim, Justice McHugh said this offense has significantly impacted her. He went on, the victim in this case was elderly and vulnerable. She trusted her daughter would handle everything with care. The Crown was calling for 2 years in custody, with the defense asking that the sentence be stayed due to a lengthy delay in getting the Gladue report completed, which looks into the background of an Indigenous offender. Justice McHugh agreed with the delay, but called this a serious case. He then sentenced Doc Stater to 15 months house arrest with an ankle monitor, followed by 2 years probation, along with a restitution order to pay back the Bank of Montreal more than $88,000. In the end, the court heard the mother is being compensated for any financial loss she suffered. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Provincial police have laid charges following a fatal crash near Seaforth earlier this year. Emergency crews were called to Northline February 17th for a crash between a pickup truck and a car. The 84-year-old sedan driver was rushed to the hospital but died 3 days later. Today, police announced the 36-year-old truck driver is charged with careless driving causing death. Police did not release the name of the accused. A Huron County nonprofit is trying to normalize cancer screening in rural Ontario during a shortage of family physicians. As Scott Miller reports, their plan has earned them a sizable grant.
For years now, the Gateway Centre for Excellence in Rural Health in Goderich has been delivering important cancer screening information directly to farmers, firefighters, and seniors in public, non-clinical settings.
We meet our people at their level.
Devereaux says Gateway's Shed Talks, where they conduct health discussions with farmers in sheds and barns across Huron and Perth County, or the Legion Learning Lounge, where they layer in cancer screening information while solving tech issues for seniors, are important because 20,000 Huron-Perth residents don't have a family physician to ask those important health questions to.
I think people are traditionally, me as well, we went to our primary care practitioner, and that's where we went for guidance, right? And now with the shortage of family physicians across rural areas, we need to layer in some help for our rural residents to get the information that they so desperately need.
For their efforts to normalize cancer screening conversations outside those typical health settings, the Gateway Centre has received a $100,000 award from the Mars Discovery District and Canadian Cancer Society through their Rural and Remote Community Cancer Screening Challenge.
No surprise to a nonprofit charity that depends on grants and donations. This is a thrill to have this fund to really advance cancer screening in our rural area.
Devereaux says Gateway plans to expand their layered cancer screening initiative to pharmacies and nurse practitioners across Huron-Perth because while more Canadians than ever before are being diagnosed with cancer, largely due to our aging population, more people are surviving cancer than ever before as well because of advanced treatments and early diagnosis.
It's going to become easier for people to be screened than it ever has been. So we want to be on top of that new information and make sure we get it out to our rural people.
In Huron County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
This is where all your dreams come true.
Come what may, this show slays. The Tony Award-winning musical Moulin Rouge is back at the Edinburgh Bush Theatre. Canada's main stock index ended the week just a touch into negative territory. In Toronto, the TSX lost 9 points, and in New York, the Dow fell 80, but the Nasdaq gained 398. The Canadian dollar added a modest 0.05 of a cent, and on commodity markets, gold gained almost $17 an ounce, and oil fell $1.45 a barrel. The federal government has approved Enbridge's natural gas pipeline expansion in British Columbia. Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson confirmed yesterday that the government has approved the $4 billion plan to expand the company's West Coast natural gas pipeline system. The project includes roughly 140 kilometers of new pipeline, which will add up to 300 million cubic feet of capacity per day. Construction is expected to begin this summer.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. A massive system of low pressure engulfs both Canada and the U.S. To the north of the 49th parallel, we have significant snow blizzard conditions in parts of northern central Saskatchewan and extreme northern northwestern parts of Manitoba, even northern Ontario getting into a mix. This broad sweeping front has been the story tonight and will be with rain showers and even potential thunderstorms into Saturday morning. We will be cooler as well in southern Ontario. I'll break down the complete weather story, what you need to know as we look ahead. It's coming up right after this. The Princess Margaret Lottery, it's the final deadline, midnight tonight. The last chance to enter the draw to win the grand prize. An $8 million Thornhill show home plus $500,000 in cash. We're celebrating 30 years of support from the community. There are over 11,000 prizes to be awarded, valued at over $9 million. Over 90% of the tickets are sold, so get yours now. And don't forget to add the 50-50 jackpot. It's nearly $6 million. The cash calendar as well, with 100 days of winning and a $250,000 grand prize, plus $30,000 on Fridays, $5,000 daily, and $10,000 bonus cash prizes of $25. The Wanderlust add-on, in which 10 winners will choose from one of 10 prize vacations or take $70,000 in cash. It's a chance to win life-changing prizes and helps fund life-saving cancer research at the Princess Margaret. Buy online at princessmargaretlotto.com or call 1-866-631-1234.
Gary joins me now with your full weather forecast. Gary, it is a beautiful day out there today.
Beautiful day today, Lauren. You're right. And unfortunately, this streak of warm above seasonal temperatures with sunny conditions outside is going to come to an end and will be stretched out through parts of Saturday, and we've seen hints of that already this evening into tomorrow morning. More of the same cloudy conditions, showers as a progressing area of low pressure moves into our region and further east. 17 degrees, 3 degrees above seasonal, so yes, a mild day. And what's happening? Take a snapshot, a look back here. Classic area of low pressure in the northern hemisphere, counterclockwise swirl. The core, if you will, is over the Canadian prairies, snow over Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and this front is responsible for the showers as it's spread anywhere from northern, northwestern Ontario right through the heart of the Great Lakes and further to the southeast. There's good news and bad news over the next, say, 12 to 16 hours. This front sort of lingers. The warm air is ahead of it, the cooler air behind it. So it's wet tonight into tomorrow morning, but the good news is by midday, say 11 a.m., noon, 1 p.m. our time, things start to quiet down. It will be cloudy, cooler than average, but at least drier. The rainfall spread is not that impressive in terms of overall amounts. We'll see in the great city of London somewhere between, I'd say, 10 and 15 millimeters of rainfall. Heavier amounts eastern Michigan over the shores of Lake St. Clair in the eastern south half of Lake Huron. There's maybe even a slight possibility that Goderich and Grand Bend, Sarnia, and the like could see some light thunderstorm activity. So here's the breakdown as we head into tomorrow morning. Yes, wet and cool to start, but by midday, overcast conditions, 7 degrees, and we'll see a high under cloudy conditions in the afternoon with a northeasterly breeze, a light one, of about 10 degrees Celsius. Sunday, Monday look a lot better. We're in the mid to upper teens with sunshine. Tuesday, rainy, 14, and again, our average high at this time of the year is about 15. We'll be in the teens Wednesday, Thursday, fair weather northern cloud for the most part. Friday, definitely cooling off. The colder air mass is working its way into the Great Lakes a week from now. Saturday, rainy for the Midwest. Sunday, Monday look good. A bounce back in terms of temperatures. Rainy for the midweek. And then cooling off Thursday into Friday with cloudier conditions expected. So look forward to Sunday and Monday. Sunshine and warmer temperatures. Saturday morning is wet, but it's not a complete deluge of rain that takes up the entire day. That's a look at your weather. Lauren?
Thanks, Gary. OPP are currently investigating a fatal house fire north of Kincardine just after 4 a.m. this morning. Emergency officials responded to a fully engulfed house fire on the North Line and 3 fully engulfed buildings. An adult male was found deceased. Anyone with information is asked to contact South Bruce OPP. He says he can't wait to look out the biggest window on the International Space Station. Canadian astronaut Joshua Kutrick spoke today about traveling to the orbiting outpost later this year.
I feel a lot of excitement. I feel a lot of Canadian pride. I've personally been preparing specifically for this mission for close to 4 years now. The mission involves leaving Earth for 6 months, so it's a long time, and there's a lot of challenge wrapped up into getting ready for that. Some of it is psychological, just getting ready for the isolation, the time away, the risk management part. A lot of it, of course, is also very technical, learning to operate these systems, the vehicles, the space station itself.
At the end of the day,
Kutrick is expected to launch no earlier than mid-September with 3 other crew members. It will be his first space mission, something he has dreamed about since he was 6 years old. We premiered a new episode of Leading London with Carlisle Fazette this week, sitting down with the Chief Executive Officer for Youth Opportunities Unlimited. Here's a clip from that conversation.
Youth Opportunities Unlimited to me is such an ambitious identity for an organization. And I mean that in the most complimentary sense.
Yeah.
And as we've just discussed, of the complexity of all the work that you do. I'm just curious about your feeling of the mission statement that your organization has and living up to that unlimited opportunities idea that you've set for yourself.
Well, it's why I came back. Really, it's why I came back. I actually said that there was only one organization I would have left my former employer for, and it was Youth Opportunities Unlimited. There's something that is so amazing about being able to spend my working day supporting the future of our community and being able to know that what I'm doing when I'm away from my family is making the community that they grow up in better. So I am fully on board with why I use mission. It's my only reason for being there.
I wanted to address Steve Cordes because I know YOU doesn't exist in its current state without his influence over those decades. Taking over for him, he said, "I'm retiring more easily knowing that it's somebody who understands the culture." What did it mean to you to step into the role that he had for so long?
Oh, it was a little intimidating, I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
You know, at our recent breakfast, I said, you know, Steve didn't just lead YOU, he built it, and he literally did build it. I think it was an honor that I was the one that was chosen because it was a pretty significant and extensive search. But I think it also is very helpful that Steve was and continues to be a mentor to me. So Steve's spirit is still, you know, very much around.
Does he pop
youth
in ever?
Opportunities. Yeah, for sure he does.
Yeah.
For sure he does. Yeah, you can see him having coffee at the cafe now and again for sure. Yeah, yeah.
And to watch the full interview, you can go to our website, ctvnewslondon.ca, and click on Leading London.
CTV News London has a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local headlines. By signing up, you'll get local news content from CTV London direct to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewslondon.ca.
A long-awaited musical biopic is moonwalking towards a big first weekend at the box office.
Q, can you lower the lights for me, please?
Michael tells the story of the rise of Michael Jackson to music stardom. Jackson's nephew, Jafar Jackson, takes on the role of his late uncle. Deadline reports the movie brought in $12.6 million U.S. during previews across North America with strong ticket sales abroad. If you are a fan of the Tony Award-winning play Moulin Rouge, the musical, you are in luck. It is back on stage in Toronto for a return engagement. CTV's Andrea Case spoke to a couple of the cast members.
This is where all your dreams come true.
The Tony Award-winning Moulin Rouge the musical was a hit with audiences when it played in Toronto last year.
You are the Moulin Rouge.
Now it's back at the CAA Ed Mirvish Theatre until May 10th. And on stage in this Broadway national touring production are two actors who couldn't be happier to be in Toronto. Ottawa's Alex Nicholson and Toronto's Justina Aveyard. She is a swing member of the cast.
Whenever one of the ensemble members is sick, injured, or covering one of the lead roles, I'll pop into whatever track is open that day and say a prayer that I am in the right spot.
Have you ever been in the wrong spot?
Oh, I sure have.
Nicholson has a greater responsibility playing Toulouse-Lautrec.
We're both people who really enjoy the world of the theater and enjoy creating something and enjoy the spectacle and enjoy making people smile and laugh and have a good time.
Aveyard is a former York University kinesiology student. She left to study theater in New York, but it has always been a dream to perform in her hometown.
I've cried when people have come to see me in New York performing, so I don't even know what I'm going to experience in the next few days.
Because you have a lot of people coming to see you in Moulin Rouge.
I sure do. I've gotten lots of group tickets, so it's very exciting.
Long before Nicholson appeared on Broadway in Hamilton, he remembers sitting in the audience in this very theater, taking in shows. Now people will be watching him. As such, he feels a sense of responsibility.
Last time I was in the ensemble covering people. This time I am kind of helping lead this show, so it feels like an even more of an exciting and also kind of like burdensome experience a little bit too, because I'm like, I want to make sure that I do Canada proud and that everyone out there feels the way I felt watching my fellow Canadians up there.
Well, you have broad shoulders, so I think you're going to be okay.
All right, I'm going to carry it all.
While the show Moulin Rouge takes place in France in 1899, the songs you will hear are very modern, from Madonna, Rihanna, Queen, and Sting. But you might want to come a little bit early because the action doesn't only take place on stage, there's a little activity in the lobby beforehand. Andrea Case, CTV News.
That's our time tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a good night.